Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com. In this episode of Battleground Bully, I'll give my general opinion on the Elder Scrolls Online class strengths and weaknesses as it relates to PvP. I've been playing the Elder Scrolls Online off and on for 4 years now, and I think it's important to give these opinions some context. 1. Elder Scrolls Online is unique in that class skills and passives are only a fraction of the options you have for developing your character and build. 2. There are countless players that can break the mold and metas, making effective builds that seem, well, odd. 3. I'm not always right, if that's not obvious, and after all, this is a video game, so pick what looks cool and fun, not what's optimal. So if you're looking at creating a specific character for PvP, or you want to troll me on my opinions, this video is for you. Before we continue, I made this high-speed Microsoft Paint graphic to explain why some classes are more effective than others. Elder Scrolls Online has a near endless amount of skills, passives, and gear combinations. What separates a specific class from others are its innate, specific passives and active skills for which no other class can obtain them. An example would be someone who wants to create the most powerful range, damage dealing killing machine in ESO. You'd want something that has the most lethal execute finishing move, and that's the Magic Sorcerer. Its active skill is unique in that it can go off after you've cast it and once an enemy reaches a certain HP threshold. Templars, they have a channeled interruptible execute, not as effective. Nightblades have an active execute, but Sorcs can cast, frag, and will nuke someone instantly. While every class can access guild, weapon, and armor skill lines and passive, it's class-specific ones that make them rise or fall for specific roles. But remember, there are always highly skilled players that are better than me that can dominate on any class or any race combination. So once again, this is a video game. Pick what's fun and interesting over 4% more lightning damage. The Magic Dragonite remains the AoE lockdown machine of PvP. I'll never forget seeing Cypher's DK tank about 10 dudes in the open field nuking everything in sight. Now while those days are gone, DKs are still strong up close and personal while providing great utility to the group. The major downside is the reliance of Battle Roar passive as your sustain tool. In champion point campaigns, this isn't much of an issue, but when you turn champion points off, it becomes more noticeable. Therefore, I spend most of my gear set choices centered around ultimate generation sustain rather than damage. The stamina-based Dragonite remains one of my favorite ways to play because it's hard to kill, does tons of damage, and is fast. The downside of stamina decay is that you're reliant on weapon skill lines to fill in your class weaknesses. Dragonite's stamina or Magicka don't have an execute finishing move, but if you pick up a two-hander and obtain one, boom, you fill in that gap. This makes it very hard to play outside of the box and be effective solo. Overall, I love Dragonites and think they excel at Cyrodiil Keep battles. I also think DKs make the best tank in PvP and, well, PvE for that matter, because of their active abilities and passes making you hard to kill with crazy utility. But let's keep it 100% real. Who doesn't like doing a DK dunk, take flight, or a ferocious sleep? Magic Nightblades absolutely dominate as a range caster in PvP. They have a main spam mobile within their class skill line that heals a decent amount, either you or other players, an escape tool no one else possesses, and a range execute. Nightblades also remain the AoE bomber of Cyrodiil, and it's still possible to nuke huge groups of unsuspecting targets. The downside of playing a Magic Nightblade is that it's a very hard class to pull off and takes a lot of skill. Other classes like my Templar can face tank a group of 10 people just holding block and Breath of Life. You know that guy. Spamming it until my keyboard cracks. With a Nightblade, you have to use mobility, elusiveness, time stun to survive and shield, and it takes a lot of skill. Stamina-based Nightblades remain the best ganker and stealth nuker in the game. You'll really get the assassin feel for the people that love playing the stealth class. And after 4 years of playing ESO, their combat class-specific skill line feels the most fun in combat. It just flows really fun. The downside of playing this class goes back to its difficulty. Nightblades don't get the healing application from their class-specific passives like other classes do, like Major Mending or Minor Mending. Overall, Nightblades remain a top-tier class for highly skilled players, and the only one with a reliable stealthing tool. Pick this class if you love nuking unsuspected targets, though it may take some work to survive as well as other classes. As I said earlier, I've been playing ESO on and off for 4 years now, and one thing remains constant. Magic Sorcerers, in my opinion, are still the king of PvP. I know. At launch, Dragon Knights had their day, but permabats, negate monkeys, killing blow Charlie has always been a thing. Nothing matches their range killing potential because of their class passives and active abilities. The downside to this class is useful weapon choices and being forced into a specific playstyle to be really effective. Since you don't have reliable range spammable attack within your class toolkit, most builds just go to the standard Destro Resto setup, though there are some players that can pull off the dual wield. It also takes a lot of time to learn how to properly preemptively shield stack versus out healing something and holding block like on a Templar. But wow, once you learn it and once you can flip a fight at an instance, this thing becomes hard to put down. Stamina-based sorcerers are still crazy fast, area, AoE heavy damage, and hard to kill. The upside to playing this class is your active and passive abilities give you tons of boost to your main stats, damage, and healing, while being offensive. However, you lack a main spammable attack and stamina-based spammable execute, so you'll typically need to pick up a two-hander to be effective. Magic Templar has been my main class for a few years now, and what initially attracted me to the class was its main spammable being a powerful heal, as well as a good AoE damage tool. Plus, let's keep it 100% real. It's very easy to play. Your initial abilities are very effective, and the average player can get a hang of this class fairly quickly because you have a really powerful burst breath heal. The downside is, I can't do the things on my Magpar that I can do on my Magic Sorc. If I'm getting pressured on my Sorc, Nightblade, I can survive and then briefly strike, killing one person within a few seconds. With my Magpar, I have to work every ounce to counter someone, set up a build that works for me, and then counter a specific class. So pick a Magpar if you want something that can heal, do damage, and be effective right away. The stamina-based Templar remains one of my favorite ways to play a stamina DPS, damage dealer, because they have two awesome active abilities. You're really the only class that has a 5 debuff cleanse, removing negative effects whenever you want. Secondly, you can Repentance Corpses, getting back stamina, allowing you to make a build with all-out damage and 0 sustain. And lastly, Biting Jabs is a great spammable, single target, or AoE. The major downside is class inherent mobility, and not having a class-specific way to get major expedition, thus relying on gear sets, potion, dodge rolls, etc. Overall, Templar is simple and fun, and my go-to recommendation for newer players. The Warden is a class I have very limited experience on. I honestly don't feel like I can give a valid opinion because I haven't played it that much. Reason being, I wasn't a fan of ZOS creating a class behind a paywall, and I'm not going to go on a 5-minute rant about this as I've done this in the past. It is what it is, and I still love ESO, so whatever, I'm over it. All I can say is Stam Wardens remain stupidly powerful tanky, with great passives and active abilities, while Magic Wardens are almost rarely seen besides the occasional bird spammer. That, my friends, concludes my class strengths and weaknesses for the Elder Scrolls Online. Please leave me a comment with whatever you agree with or disagree with, because after all, this is my opinion, this ain't fact. And I'll say it again, this is a video game. Pick something that looks fun and cool rather than what some meatball YouTuber like me thinks. You think stealth is cool? Pick a Nightblade. You think take flight looks cool? Pick a Dragon Knight. Have fun, nuke people, and I hope to see you in Battlegrounds and PvP.